And welcome to Let's Fly VFR. Today we're heading out in X-Plane and Flight Simulator 2020 and just do a little bit of a comparison flight between what you can possibly get in X-Plane, and here's X-Plane 11 starting at my home little airport of Gawler. Now what I'm trying to highlight here is that you can still get pretty good scenery in X-Plane. Do you really need to go to Flight Sim 2020? I struggle to run it still on my 5600X and my 2060 Super.
Caution, on
So,
taxiway,
you know,
on
it's a
taxiway.
personal choice as always, but you can see this is really quite smooth. Now the scenery here is Ortho XP 18 tiles, and here we are in exactly the same place on the same runway in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, which again is quite good. Just disappointing that there's no buildings on this particular airport. But as you see, as we fly from here down to Waipad or Parafield Airport, that does have buildings in both X-Plane and Microsoft 2020. So as you can see now, I've built all of this up myself, all the grass and textures and stuff that you see on the ground. This is all just native to Microsoft Flight Simulator as we pop backwards and forwards, and all I want to do is just do a bit of a comparison so you can see the difference between the two. If you've got X-Plane, for example, and you're thinking about getting Microsoft 2020, again, both are pretty, it's very good sims. It's new technology, but you do need a very, very powerful computer, I would suggest, to run it well. Now I've got to say, when I fly Microsoft Flight Simulator in VR, I still struggle a bit. It's still a little bit jittery for me. Haven't able to work that out. That could be something I'm doing, but I'm working on that slowly, but it's still a little there. You can see it's a little bit more populated with buildings and trees and stuff in this particular flight. And it looks pretty good, although I'm still really disappointed in the clouds. The one thing I thought I really wanted to see was realistic clouds, and it doesn't just seem to be the case. The ground textures and everything here are still very, very good, and this is my local area, so I know it well. And I have flown this area a reasonable amount in Jabiru's when I was doing light sport flying, which is something I'll return to in the future, I'm sure, but for the moment, we're doing it. Now we're coming up over Parafield Airport, which I did do a few hours out of before I decided to light sport because it was cheaper. But you'll get a comparison between this. Now this is default scenery here on X-Plane 11, and yes, I can see where I used to work down there. There are red buildings just at the corner of the screen. I used to work down there, and this is excellent, really. This is the best result I've had in Ortho for XP. I finally worked out, or finally found out, I didn't discover it myself, how to do it properly, and I was making some fundamental errors in that. So here we go again, looking back over roughly the same area. My home is just back over that Cessna shoulder, and here we go, same airport. You can see it's quite similar. The picture quality here isn't quite the same. I did fly this in VR from memory. Originally I did this one, but the landing that we do is in 2D, guys. So I flew that and it's recorded, so the quality of the image might be a little bit better just in 2D. But again, you can see the main airport area there, the buildings over to the left. I can see where I used to work again. That's actually a building and not actually flat. But as you can see, still looking pretty amazing. This was 2D because of the way I'm flicking around there, guys. So yeah, I correct myself. Now we've got all the salt pans there to the head of us there, and there's now highway that runs through that. Now we're going to go a little bit to the left. You can just catch the city. It hasn't quite populated it about. It's just in front of us there. Now we're coming in towards the city, and again, I've built the city here. I did that with WED some time ago. If you haven't done that, please go visit the tutorials I've got on WED. It is so simple, guys, to do well. And the Ortho for XP with the actual buildings sitting on top of it was something that I would love to tell you who it was I saw the recent video with it that helped me to get this set up correctly, but pretty amazing. And the FPS here is in the 80s. Flying in here, I think it was very, very good. When I was doing this, and this is a little bit, you can see the Adelaide Oval down there in the centre, where it's only a flat picture. At least this is a 3D object, and the city looks pretty good. And that's the big square building at the bottom. There's the new hospital that was built recently, so it is pretty much up to date. There'll be a lot of work updating around Australia, being that Australia is so large. So here we go, coming in, doing an approach to Adelaide International Airport, which I hope to be at in a couple of months' time, departing Australia and heading overseas again. If you're not aware, I live in Thailand when I get the opportunity, my wife and I, so we're heading back there, and I'll be hopefully have a little bit more time to make some more videos. That will be convenient from where I am at the moment. But coming into touchdown on runway 23, and then you'll have a nice comparison back as we come in Microsoft Flight Simulator as well, and you can see the differences on the approach. For me, X-Plane is still the one as far as the actual flight simulation. I still think that Microsoft Flight Simulator is a little bit rigid. It doesn't move around as realistically, I don't think, as X-Plane does. I think X-Plane's still got years better in the flight modelling. You can argue with me on that if you like, but you know, it's a personal choice. But I think having flown a real aircraft and flown both of these, they handle both very differently. This is a lot more on rails. When I get a chance to fly it some more, because I've got to say it's taken me a while to get it to run to a level that I'm comfortable with, but it's getting better. Maybe some more tweaking will get that better, and then we'll do some more comparison videos possibly, because I want to fly around my local area as I've completed doing all the ortho scenery and visit all the airports that I have flown to in real world in the past around here. But the city looks pretty good. The buildings look they're not very representative at the moment. Australia's buildings are a lot different to that. It's very much what we see in the United States scenery, I guess, or European, maybe even European scenery in X-Plane. But here we go. Now we do have a little crab here, and that's interesting because the wind must be coming from the right. This was real world weather just a couple of days ago when I reflew this. You'll notice the clouds are probably a little bit different. I did want to do a direct comparison, but I just didn't get a chance to do that. But a few bounces, a few wanders around here, not too bad, and it does need a little bit of the correction there. So the modelling, the flight modelling is certainly getting a lot better in X-Plane 11. In Microsoft Flight Simulator. Look, both very, very good sims for me. Again, I'm still a little biased to X-Plane 11 and looking forward to X-Plane 12. Or next generation, whatever they might call it, because that sounds like that's going to be out by the end of 2021. And that, and the bits that I've seen of it so far, and I'm sure you have if you're a flight sim aficionado like many of us, you've seen the lighting and the 3D trees and the promise of real and genuine buildings and all lots of things to come. And we should find out more about that in the present month, I believe. I believe there's a big flight sim thing happening in the United States, and they're going to bring along an example and show some of the beta versions of X-Plane next generation, shall we call it for now. Well, thanks for coming along for a quick flight. Again, just a comparison flight. Very happy that I'm now getting something worthwhile out of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and enjoying the little bit of flying I'm doing with it, and also, as always, enjoying the DCS and the X-Plane 11. So, hey, you can never do enough flying in flight sims. You can see the scenery. I was quite surprised again by the animated people on in Microsoft Flight Simulator. They're standing around just moving like a couple of people waiting to see an aircraft out, and I thought that was pretty good as well. Here we have obviously we have the vehicles running around, but we don't have animated people in this for the most part. So as we taxi in to Adelaide International Airport, I look forward to catching up with you in the next video here at Let's Fly VFR. Visit letsflyvfr.com, subscribe, like and share if you would be so kind. See you then. Bye bye.